Hello and welcome along to the Bunch of Punts Betting Podcast, your specialist show for football long shot bets. Joining me, Jimmy and Matthew, special guest Sam Ingram to run you through the weekend's action and hopefully pick you out a winning ACCA along with some nice priced singles. Please remember this is a gambling show, comes with serious risks, so gamble responsibly. It's for 18 plus. And comments, we've had a few recently. Keep getting in touch because we love to hear from you. Maybe you hate our picks, maybe you love them, or you just want to share some of your own bets. So please continue to do that. And if you're not following already, follow us on your chosen podcast provider, on YouTube, on Twitter. It goes a long way. So, Sam, pleasure to have you on board today. How are you doing?
Yeah, no, same. Pleasure to be on. Thanks for having me. I've listened to the last few episodes with Tom and Maka, and I thought they were both great. So hopefully I can continue that and repay the faith with some winners, hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed. You just say though, before we start recording, you've not had the best week punting, have you?
I have had a terrible week. I think I've had like 8 losers from 10 bets. So I'll come into this in drastically poor form. So hopefully it don't continue over to the podcast, but we'll see.
It means you're due a few winners. That's the only logical explanation.
Exactly that. Yeah, exactly that.
Matthew, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'll come into this in awful betting form as well, but I've had a good week in terms of non-betting, getting my cast off, watching Brighton beat Chelsea. I've got 2 games to go to on the weekend, so I'm feeling buzzing and refreshed despite my poor form, so I'm ready for it.
We're not really selling this, are we?
No, I'm going to say we've got 2 out of 4 tipsters ready, locked and loaded. Where are you headed this weekend though, Matthew? What games?
Maidenhead on Saturday for Worthing, and then staying in London, and Sunday I'm off to Wolves, the glamorous Wolves away. Then go to on holiday on Monday, so it's a busy weekend and week ahead.
I'm not fuming. I'm obviously really happy to go to a baby shower, but I had a ticket for Wolves away. I forgot I was going to a baby shower, so yeah, that'll be my Saturday. I can't wait. What we're going to do in the first part of the show is try and build a winning ACCA. It felt last week we went closer than the first week. We got a few selections up. Walsall won, goals in Halifax, goals at Chelsea, but there were 2 very obvious ACCA busters last weekend, weren't there, Matthew? We backed QPR to win at Hillsborough, they drew, and Gillingham lost at home to Harrogate. They're fucked us, aren't they?
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Like, I think if people had a winning ACCA last weekend, I'd be surprised because all of my mates had Gillingham in. So it was a big shock. Gillingham. I was pissed off with the Gills.
Ainsworth's first loss as well.
Yeah, first losses since he took over in Gillingham, which is
silly.
Just
nightmare.
Nuts. Absolute nightmare, yeah. The last man standing, was just a sea of red because I think about everyone went Wednesday to lose or Gillingham to win. So what we're saying basically, it's not our fault, is it? It's team's fault for not doing as they should. So I think newcomers go first. Sam, do you want to kick us off with something?
Yes, I've got first one down. I've got Newport vs Swindon over 2.75 goals. That's at 1.9 on Bet365. So Ian Holloway's come in and it's been a breath of fresh air, really. Like he's typically, what you get with Holloway is great in interviews and post-match press conferences, but he's also rejuvenated the Swindon side. So they've scored 78 goals in League 2 since his appointment in October, and no team at League 2 level has scored more in that time frame. No team has scored more than Swindon's 21 goals this season, and they're running at a 1.65 XG per 90 rate on the underlying data, so it's getting to a stage where Swindon and goals should probably be a consideration in some capacity every week. See, all 5 of Swindon's away days have gone over 2.5. 8 of 10 games this season have gone over 2.5 goals, which is the best strike rate in the division in League 2. And if you look at who they're playing on the weekend, Newport, they've conceded at least 2 goals in 7 of their last 9 games. They've lost 9 of their last 10 games. And looking at their home form specifically, the last 3 games read 3-1, 3-2 and 2-1, all of which were defeats. So in terms of Newport, they look disorganised at the back and lacking ideas up top, really, which is obviously not a great combination. And on the weekend just gone, they played Chesterfield, couldn't handle them whatsoever. Their movement in the final third at the weekend just kind of did a number on Newport. They lost that game 4-1, and I presume, looking ahead at the weekend, looking ahead of Swindon coming to town, I think it might be a similar story against a Swindon side that will aim to get that Newport back four turning and running towards their own goal. So I like the thought of goals. And Swindon, they're usually good for conceding a goal as well. So over 2.75 goals, 1.9 feels like a good way to start the ACCA.
Yeah. I like. I'm sold. I'm sold.
Yeah, I'm sold. I'm sold as well. I was just looking at Swindon because they've got Drinnan. He's got 8 goals. They've got some lovely players in the squad, and they were playing some just like top-notch football. And that was before they brought in Ollie Palmer, so they've got versatility as well. And I was a bit worried about them going into this season because Holloway came in and they were sort of sleepwalking towards the bottom end of the table. And for a second, like I think it was 4 games remaining, they had a massive outside chance. But if they won all their last 4 games or something, and the teams in the final 3 places in the playoff, if one of them didn't take a single point, they could have snuck into the playoffs. So I was a bit worried if Holloway just wanted to get another job to get his 1000th game manager ticked off, and then he was just going to fade this season. But Swindon is showing to be a top side again. So, and goals, as you say, given as far as these two are concerned. So I'm happy to get that straight in. If Matthew's happy as well.
Yeah, it's one I had noted down, so I'm a big fan of it.
Beautiful. Where do you want to take us next then, Matthew?
Halifax for this one, and I think it looks a really strong angle. Last week we were on them in the ACCA for goals, and it paid off with a 4-2 win. And I'm happy to take them again on the Asian handicap at home to Brackley. So draw no bet. Weirdly, Halifax at home are priced as the underdogs for this game, which is a notion I can't really get behind. They sort of parted ways with Millington, very pragmatic, but did well, and they've gone for Adam Lakeland, who had his Kings Lynn side playing attractive football, and he's done the same at Halifax. They've now won 4 in a row, including beating. They went to Rochdale, who had won all by 1 game, and they went and beat them yesterday 2-1 away. Yeah, so they're on fire. They had a poor start. They lost 3 of their first 4, but since it's clicked into gear, and they look a hard team to beat. And they play a Brackley side who were in the National North. I think they lost 7 playoff campaigns. I think they couldn't get over the line, and they won the league on the final day last year. And yeah, they've had a good start. They're sat 5th, but last 2 sort of papers, the cracks are starting to appear. Lost 1-0 at Solihull Moors, and recently 2-0 at home to Wildstone. Brackley are a small team, village team, similar to how Tamworth and Wildstone have been in the past, where home games are crucial to keep them up, and that's where they've got all their 3 wins from. Away from home, they're yet to win, with 2 losses and 2 draws. So for them to go off favourite away at a Halifax team with 4 straight wins, 6th in the league, makes no sense to me. And you can get about evens for Halifax draw no bets. I think it's a really, really strong pick, that one for me.
Yeah, we spoke about facts last week. It's hard to argue with it when it comes to non-league. But just on the face of it, a home, with coming in with basically no non-league knowledge, a home team at this level, you can get money back if they draw at almost even money. It just seems like a tap-in, Sam.
Against a newly promoted team without an away win.
Yeah, I mean, I've got absolutely nothing to offer in terms of non-league, but you're bang on. In terms of a return for getting the draw on side as well, won the last 4 games, look half decent at home, looks right to me.
Yeah, and what you just said, Matthew, Brackley without an away win, I think that seals it. So we're getting that one in as well?
I think so,
Good start.
I think so. Them two, it's 3.75 on 365, about the double. No complaints yet. I'm going to take us to the Prem, and there's a price up here that I just can't get my head around in the 3PMs. Man United are 1-2 at home to Sunderland. You can get Sunderland with a plus goal on the Asian handicap over a shade over even money. I was considering the double chance at a bigger price, but for the ACCA, the extra goal bit of security in case they do lose by 1 might just convince you. And it's obviously a price more important than anything. I just can't get my head around why Man United are this short. They've only gone off shorter or similar price to this twice this season. Home to Burnley in the Premier League. I think they came from 2-1 down. They scored it with a very, very, very late winner. And then at Grimsby in the Cup, which they famously lost on penalties. So under Amorim in the league, they've gone off odds on 9 times. They've won 5 of those games. They've lost 4. But I'm just looking at the list now. They lost to Burnley by 1. They beat Burnley by 1. They beat Leicester by 1. I should have really written these down, but all of the results apart from Southampton, where they scored 2 late goals, that was by more than 1 goal margin. They beat Everton by 4-0, but I remember that one. That was just a nuts game. All the others, they're either winning by 1, losing. I just think based on what we've seen under Amorim, 34 points from 33 games, 9 wins. I can't see him putting daylight between themselves and Sunderland, especially after the start Sunderland have made. Any takers?
Yeah, I love it. I hadn't looked at the Prem yet. I didn't realise how short United were. And yeah, I'm a big fan of the Sunderland side. I think their recruitment's been brilliant. Probably the best goalie in the league this season. So they'll be tough to crack. So yeah, I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, this was my next one, Jimmy. Like, to me, it feels like the handicap just feels like a really nice position to be in. Like you said, Sunderland adapted well with the step up in class of the Premier League, lost just once, and they were unbeaten in September. Reggie Lebree's been nominated for Manager of the Month. Granit Xhaka and Robin Rose in net both been nominated for Player of the Season, Player of the Month even. Not quite season just yet. And I think those two incomings for Sunderland, Granit Xhaka at the base of midfield, I think he's been an excellent signing. Might be the best signing in the Premier League this season in terms of impact. I can't really think of too many that will rival Granit Xhaka. And yeah, like you said, United's struggles are well known. So to be getting that security on the handicap with or against this United team, against Ruben Amorim, under a lot of pressure at home at Old Trafford, like they need to win this game. Sunderland don't. They can sit in and look to hit him on the counter and disrupt. And yeah, like I said, the handicap feels like a nice position to take.
Nice, yeah. So I'm happy that you boys are in agreement. We'll get that in the ACCA as well. It's just worth noting Sunderland have won at Forest and drew at Crystal Palace. Well, Jake in the office today assured me that Crystal Palace are the best team in the league so far, underlying data-wise. So with Sunderland in, it's Sunderland +1 on the Asian handicap. So money back if they lose by 1. Halifax essentially draw no bet, shade of evens, joining Newport, Swindon over 2.75 goals. We're at 7.690 on 365 at the minute, and it just feels nice doing the Asian lines. We've got that added bit of security across each selection, important on an ACCA because not everything goes to plan all the time. What do you reckon? It's 7 and a bit, 7.5, a bit over that. Shall we go for another selection?
I've
Another
got
few.
I've got a strong Asian one as well. Again,
Go on then.
yes. Yeah, Hampton and Richmond draw no bet at home to Slough. You got Hampton sort of doing a lot better than I thought this season. Under Alan Julian, brilliant manager. Unbeaten at home, 2 wins, 2 draws. But these 4 games, they played Dagenham, who obviously I know I've been against Dagenham all season, but they were recently relegated side, as would Ebbsfleet, and they played Torquay at home. They've gone to Dorking and won, and they've only lost once this season, and that was away at Maidstone, who are a strong team. So you've got a team flying high, and you can get them with, again, the security of money back. Slough are struggling and sit towards the bottom. They haven't won away from home. They've just got 2 points on the road. And these came against Eastbourne, who are bottom, and Tonbridge, who are very poor. So again, you've got the added bonus of the draw on your side for a team that's only lost once. And that was away at a really strong team. So I just can't see... I can see this going off a lot shorter, basically.
Nice. Yeah, we're just agreeing with everything. But like I say, I have no knowledge on the National League South, but I'm more than happy to take your word for it. Any objections to this one?
No, I'm exactly the same. I mean, it sounds fine to me, but yeah.
Yeah, it's all on your head then, Matthew, these non-league picks, you know.
Yeah, no. If they lose, I'll take the flack in the comments.
I'm liking this, all these Asian lines. So with that, the 4th pick, we're at the smidge over 13.2 decimals. Shall we keep going? Usually there's some get turned down by now. Sam, have you got any other really strong picks worth mentioning?
Probably my favourite bet of the weekend, I think. So I'll best mention it. Comes in the Bundesliga, Frankfurt versus Bayern. The Asian goal line is at 3.75, which probably tells you all you need to know about what the bookmakers expect. We've got 2 teams that rank in the top 3 out of Europe's top 5 divisions for goals scored. Bayern have scored 22, Frankfurt scored 17, and they're right up there with Barca and Madrid, having played 2 games fewer. So Frankfurt games are averaging 6.0 match goals per 90. Bayern's games averaging 5.0 match goals per 90, which is just ridiculous, really, after 5 games. Most of the listeners will probably have seen it, but Frankfurt went to Gladbach last weekend, went 6-0 up after 47 minutes, and then conceded 4 in the second half. So that ended 6-4. Then they went in the Champions League, played Atletico Madrid in Spain, lost 5-1. And then meanwhile, Bayern have just been dominating every game they've played in Germany. They've been doing the same in the Champions League. Luis Diaz has slotted into the side seamlessly from Liverpool. Isse looks sharp. Gnabry's chipping in. Kane scored 10 goals in 5 Bundesliga games, 17 goals in 9 games in all comps. I could go on and on. It's the numbers, the data behind Bayern. It's just staggering, really. Everything suggests this should be a ridiculous game. So it's probably going to end 0-0, which is 33-1. And as this is a long shot pod, maybe there might be someone out there brave enough for the 33-1, but that's not what I'm going to put up. If we do get a shed load of goals, I definitely want to be involved. And I think the best way to enter this game, I don't really want to have a big stake on over 4.5 or over 5.5. So I think the best way to go into this game is for Bayern to win the game, which I think they will, and for them to concede along the way. So Bayern to win, both teams to score at 2.25.
Lovely. Yep. It's hard to argue. The only thing I had to add was Kane's insane goal record this season. He's on, I think it might be the other way around, but I think he's on 105 goals in 101 appearances for Bayern now, which is just staggering.
He's rivaling Lewandowski, isn't he, really? I don't know Lewandowski's strike rate off the top of my head, but he must be right up there with him. He may have bettered him after 100 games. But yeah, he's just been incredible.
So if you do the buy-in, build it in the better builder, early payout secured as well, any complaints with that pick, Matthew?
No, like as you guys said with non-league, you don't really look at non-league. I don't really look at leagues outside of England, but it did catch my eye, the Frankfurt goal records. I took the midweek, both teams scoring overs against Atletico. So yeah, against Bayern, it'd be stupid not to take her. I really like that bet a lot.
Let's do it. Nice. And we were just talking while you dropped out, Matthew. I've edited this if you're listening. Matthew just dropped out. His brother turned off the Wi-Fi, but he's back. And we were saying, well, Sam suggested taking Sunderland a +1.25, so even more security. That's it, 1.75. So we're going to swap that out. I'll put a screenshot on the video and we'll recap the ACCA at the end. Changing Sunderland to 1.25 goals head start and putting Bayern and both teams to score in takes us to a shade of 24-1, which is definitely big enough, but I don't want to leave any good picks out as well. So Matthew, have you got anything really strong you want to suggest before we lock in this ACCA?
Yeah, so I had a Woking win against Truro in, but I've got a long shot angle with them, so I'd leave that one out. Okay. I also like Tamworth -1 at home to Morecambe, but again, I'll leave that one out because my strongest one that I haven't said yet is South Shields over 1.5 at home to Chorley. They scored 2+ in 7 out of 9 in the league. They're fresh off of beating Chorley in the cup last weekend, so they beat them 4-1 playing against Saturday. My mate was there and he was blown away by South Shields. It was like, if they're anything backable, you've just got to pile in on South Shields. And the front two of Scott and Blackett is just ridiculous for that level. Obviously, Sebwin Scott scored all them goals for County. Blackett was one of the top scorers in National North last season. They'd be one of the strongest partnerships in the league above, let alone this league. And so yeah, you got a team that scored that in 7 out of 9. And one of the games was first game of the season before they signed Scott, a 1-0 win against Kidderminster. Then you got Chorley, who have conceded this in half their away games and are yet to keep an away clean sheet. And you're getting around evens, I think it is, for 2 South Shield goals, which feel very confident on.
Are you very confident on it?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, it's one of my 3 strong fancies.
Because with that pick, we like just shy of 50 on the decimals, which seems nice and round to leave it at. Nice and round, doesn't it, Sam? Nice round to leave it at, because I was going to suggest Lincoln at home to Exeter, but they've been nibbled in a little bit. And we've got a 6-fold, a lot of Asian lines. It seems like there's so much security there. Have you got any other picks, Sam, that you want to mention, or are you happy at the at just shy of 50 decimal points?
I'm really happy with just shy of 50, but I do like Lincoln. I could definitely be persuaded if you really wanted it. But so the thing 50 sounds nice.
With Lincoln, it takes us to 83, so like a little bit over 82-1, and we've got a lot of Asian lines, so we might get a couple of pushers chipping into that price. I'm on the fence. Matthew, what do you think? Would you want to include Lincoln, bump it up to 82-1, or are you happy where we were with the 6-fold?
Well, as we were speaking, I'd already placed a 6-fold because I presumed I really like Lincoln. Like, I put them last man standing, but I know we've got a Lincoln angle later, so it's sort of similar thinking with me leaving Woking out. Because if we've already got a Lincoln-based selection later, do we want to double dip? is the question.
Do we want to double down? Shall we leave it then? Are we getting a bit greedy? Shall we leave it at the sixfold?
I'm easy. I'll do
Let's
whatever.
go.
Yeah, we'll leave it at the sixfold. Lincoln just getting nibbled in a little bit short. 4 to 6, I think, is enough. Like just shy, 49 to 1, basically. That'll do us. The ACCA, reading it in order that it's on my bet slip. Bundesliga, Eintracht Frankfurt v Bayern Munich. Bayern to win and both teams to score at 6 to 5. Remember, do that in the bet builder. You'll get paid out if Bayern go 2 up or 2 goals up. And if they don't end up winning, just in case. A little trick from Matthew. Newport Swindon over 2.75 goals. Asian line, Halifax, essentially draw no bet. It's 0.0 on the Asian handicap at home to Brackley. Hampton and Richmond, same Asian line at home to Slough. Sunderland, we've changed that to plus 1.25 on the Asian handicap. That's in the Premier League. They are away, at Manchester United. And then it's back into non-league. Over 1.0 home goals in South Shields clash against Crawley. So the sixfold pays out at 49.840. That's getting felt.
We must be the first people in history to ever have Bayern Munich and Hampton and Richmond in the same ACCA.
Definitely.
I'm all for it. I am all for it. Right. Into the singles. I may as well kick us off talking about the game we just discussed, Man United against Sunderland. For reasons we've already outlined, I think Sunderland are worth just taking to win. I'm going to do it. You can get 11 to 2 with Bet Victor, like 5 to 1 generally, but I'm going to take him 365, early payout, 5.75, a point on that. But I did a bet last week and it was coupling them to win and double chance with the keeper, Rofs, to be carded. I think he's got 1 this season. Didn't land last week against Forest, but the referee Atwell, I think last season he booked 5 keepers in his last 6 appearances. Dean Henderson was one in the FA Cup final. Emi Martinez was definitely on that list as well. He also booked Donnarumma when Man City played Arsenal, so he's got enough of a track record for me to go in. But above everything, the price doesn't add up. It literally doesn't add up. You can get Sunderland win and Rose to be carded at 45 to 1 with 365. And I know it's real basic, but just times in the price of Sunderland with 365 to win and the keeper to be carded, it gets you like a little bit under 37 to 1. And usually 365 take a bit of tax when you do these combinations anyway because they've wised up to it. So I was expecting threes. That's why I'm doing a point on the win. And obviously double chance is the same story. You can get 18 to 1 about that. So I'm having a point on that as well. I think 365 have dropped a little bit of a mistake there, but we'll take it. Matthew, where are you taking us next?
Yeah, I mentioned it in the ACCA, so I didn't put it forward. I'm going Woking Truro. So I'm going over 1 Woking goal and under 0.5 Truro goals at 6.5. Thought Truro would do all right this season, but I was wrong. I will caveat by saying Woking have been underwhelming to start the season and are sat just 1 point clear of the relegation zone. However, they did win 3-0 midweek at Solihull, and they're showing signs of sort of being playoff contenders, which I thought they would be. But yeah, the bet's mainly on how shit Truro have been. It's their first ever time playing non-regionalised football. First Cornish team to be in the National League, I believe. Sam will know too well with his Plymouth roots. Like even Truro's miles from Plymouth, let alone Woking. Like yeah, it's mental.
Truro's in the middle of it's an absolute mission from anywhere. So
yeah, especially, and they're not used to it sort of travelling those distances, and that sort of affected them. They've just got 7 points this season, but all 7 have come at home. And that came against Boston, against strugglers Morecambe, who obviously troubles are well known, and then they threw away a lead at home to 9-man Aldershot. So they've lost all 6 away games, scoring just once and conceding 14 in the process. So, as I said, Woking haven't been at their best, but at the quoted prices, I think Truro have been very, very lacklustre on the road and in front of goal, and I'm backing Woking to score 2 and Truro to score none at 6.5.
Stuff. Matthew, it's just saying on Riverside, close your other Riverside tab if you've got one up.
All right, sorry.
Right, Sam, where are you taking us next?
we are going to League One. Bolton v Peterborough, and I've got 2 bets. I'm going for Mario Cozier-Dubry to score at any time at 3.1, and also him to score outside of the box at 14 to 1, both on Bet365. Cozier-Dubry, decent little footballer, probably one of the most dangerous players in League One. He's at Bolton on loan from Brighton. Matthew, isn't he?
Yeah, we got him.
So
Got him from Arsenal, yeah.
if you're coming up through the ranks at Brighton, then you know you've probably got a bit about you. And I love the way he's come into Bolton. He shows intent every game, can carry the ball. He's got bags of pace, will get at his fullback. And that alone, regardless of whether he's got end product or not, that direct play, that willingness to progress upfield, that's usually going to unsettle opponents. And in terms of the bet, the data suggests it's a favourable punt. The outside of the box punt is something I take every single week. And if Bolton are ever playing like a live TV game, if you can ever get outside of the box shots or anything like that, then it's probably worth it too. Looking at his stats this season, he scored 1 goal outside of the box for Bolton already. That was against Leyton Orient. That was an equaliser in the 94th minute. At a stage of the game where most wingers probably wouldn't even dream about cutting inside and attempting to hit a shot. And he also scored a similar goal for Bolton in pre-season against Hibs. It was just inside the box, but very similar, cutting from the right and arrowed a shot in the top left corner. So he plays on the right wing, left-footed, so that cut inside is always on. He's had 33 shots this season, scored twice. The stand-up stat for me, though, is that 19 of his 33 shots have come outside the box. So he's had more shots outside the box than he has inside the box, which is unusual for most wingers maybe, but it shows that he backs himself massively. And if he gets the ball outside the box and he's got a shooting opportunity, he's probably going to take it. Yeah, I like the look of Kozia Dubry outside the box. Go at 14-1. Like I said, something I take every week. And just in case he does score, but takes a foot inside the box, I want to cover myself for that anytime. Go score a price as well at 3.1.
Oh, I love it. So many good stats. He did score that worldie the other week, didn't he? He did the rounds on Twitter. Lovely stuff. Same game, I've actually got a bet. Goal scorer as well for Bolton as well, but it's a centre-back. And it's off the back of Peterborough's set-piece shortcomings. Since the beginning of the last season, they've conceded 32 goals from dead ball situations, 7 this season. Luton's Matt Anderson scored against them. Wigan's Jason Kerr as well. 2 centre-backs already scored against them this campaign. So I had a look at Bolton's centre-backs, and disappointingly, Chris Farino and Owen Toyle were both like less than 10-1, which is a bit too short for me given their track records. So George Johnson at 16's got to be the pick. I think he's as short as 7-1 with some firms, but 16-1 with Sky Bet, sorry, worth taking. Not based on his goals per 90 average, though. He's only got goals per 90 average of 0.03, which is terrible. And by that logic, this bet is not worth having. But this season, he's actually got the highest XG of any Bolton central defenders. That's total and per 90 at 0.87 total. So it feels like the cliched, he is due a goal. And if he was going to get one, I think it'd be against Peterborough. So, yeah, George Johnson, bit of a punt, 16-1, half a point on him to score any time. That's with Sky Bet in Bolton's home game against Peterborough as well. Where are you taking his next, Matthew?
Yeah, and no surprise, it's another non-league bet, and I'm taking Fylde to win and both teams to score away at Telford at 4.3. Fylde team, they dominate this league. Every time they're in it, they've never come below third, and they're on track to do that again. I'm in the top 3. Just lost my notes now, so I'm just getting them back up. Yeah, they've had a really good start to the season. They sit 4th at the moment, scoring 20 goals, conceding 10. Both teams to score has landed in 8 out of their 10 games, with the exceptions 5-0 win away at Peterborough Sports and a 1-0 home win against Bedford. Away from home, they lost 2-1 to Scarborough, who are a very strong team, then beat Darlington 3-1 away, Southport 3-2 away, and then obviously Peterborough Sports 5-0. And you've got Telford hovering near the relegation zone. The only game they failed to score was at home to Buxton and away to Alfreton. And as Jim, you'll be aware, Alfreton will be not recently, but can be a tough place to go. So you got a home team.
It used to be, yeah.
Yeah, it used to be until now. But yeah, Telford got a good goal scoring record, playing against a Fylde team who can put 3 or 4 past most teams, but sort of caught lacking at the back a bit. So to get Fylde on side, I'm happy to take the both team to score Punt with it at 4.33.
Lovely price. 4.33?
Yeah, for Fylde win and both teams to score.
Skimmed you like 0.03 of a point off there in the record. 4.33. Lovely stuff. Where are we going next, Sam? Yeah, Robin, you're blind.
Back to the Bundesliga, same game I've already spoken about. I want to get a long shot out in the Frankfurt versus Bayern game if I can. So both teams to score in both halves is 7.5. And the main driver here in both teams to score bet against Bayern is that Frankfurt have a bit about them going forward, which we'll need against best in class in the Bundesliga. But equally, their defence is far from watertight, and Bayern have won 5 out of 5 in Germany. They've got all the tools you could ever need over in the Bundesliga to capitalise on that. And Frankfurt have conceded 13 goals in 5 games. And they've also scored 9 goals in their last 3 home games against Bayern. So they should really cause a problem or two themselves. And at 7.5, it's not the biggest price for both teams to score in both halves bet. But if this game transpires out, I think it might do, then it's probably a good punt.
Yeah, 9 goals in the last 3 home games against Bayern is nuts. And with the goal line set at 3.75, I don't actually think 7.5 is a bad price for both teams to score in both halves, is it?
No, it's not. Obviously, with this bet, you're usually getting above 10-1, so it probably feels a little bit skinny. But no, I agree.
No, lovely pick. Matthew, where you going next?
Yeah, so similar bet to Sam, just way less exotic with the games. Buxton, Darlington, both teams to score in both halves. Buxton has seen both teams to score in all 4 home games and 8 out of 9 total. Darlington has seen both teams score 3 out of 4 games and 8 out of 9 total. So you've got teams who have a 16 out of 18 combined have seen both teams score. So it just sort of just screams goals. It's landed 2 out of 5 for Bedford at home. Hasn't landed for Darlington away, but based on the opposition, it's another really good price play, I think. Even though, as I said, I don't think it's landed for Darlington all season, which isn't ideal. But when you match 2 teams who are scoring for fun against each other, it's got all the recipe for goals.
Lovely stuff. I'm going to go Championship next, Derby v Southampton. And it's a battle between the 2 teams with the most cards in the divisions. I've got a couple of arrows at some player cards. First one, Adam Armstrong. You can get him 9.5, so 17-2 with Bet Victor. And it's just a massive price. Based on his career, no, it's not. It's probably fair. But I think he's got 6 cards across the last 2 seasons for Southampton. 2 in 2 starts this season, both coming in Southampton's last 2 games. That is, over that small sample size, I know it's a small sample size, but it's a cards per 90 average of 0.32. And because it's across 2 seasons, I think it's just long enough to go at, to be honest. He did miss a penalty at Bramall Lane on Tuesday, but he has captained the side in both of his 2 starts, their last 2 games. I'm caught in 2 minds because we are at the mercy of team news, but I don't know if you drop your captain. I don't know. Southampton have got so much quality. There's every chance that he don't play. So I'm going to have to chip this one as a loser because Bet Victor don't void you and they don't offer you cash out. So we're fucked. But just based on his record and the price, I just had to take it. Next best 11-2, just worth taking. But 2 players I'm a bit more confident are going to play. Elder, left back for Derby. He's 5.5 Sky Bet. Based on his cards per 90 average, he's got 2 cards in 8 all comps this season, 8 in the Championship last season. So I had this a point shorter based on his recent record. His actual Championship card average, I'd add this a point shorter. And he also should be opposing Fellows. Fellows he's a very good player. He's drawn 2 cards from his direct opponents in 4 appearances for Southampton. So ticks all the boxes, that one. And then the other player is Nathan Wood-Gordon. He's just called Nathan Wood on his shirt, but for some reason the firms have calling him Nathan Wood-Gordon. He is 5, so 4-1 with Sky Bet as well. Yeah, again, another player based on his cards per 90 average is probably about a point too big. And then you obviously factor in how cynical both teams have been. So it should be a card-heavy game. Even more reason to back it. I like this a lot. And both clubs, by the way, I don't know if this is why they've been so card-heavy, but they're both underperforming. I mean, Derby chucked a lot of money at it this summer. They built a really good squad. They've got a good manager, but they haven't really clicked into gear yet. And Southampton, like coming down from the Prem, parachute payment, blah, 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 they are massively underachieving. So there should be plenty of needle on Saturday afternoon. And obviously, I'm going to do the double as well. That's Wood and Elder. Half a point on that. I think it's 22-1 best price, Paddy Power and Betfair. Half a point, I should say, on all 4 of those picks. Yeah. So cards in Derby, Southampton. Armstrong, Bet Victor, 9.5. Elder, 5.5. Wood, 4-1. Those last 2 picks, Sky Bet. And the double, 22-1, Paddy Power and Betfair. Matthew, back to you. Where are you going next?
Yes, I've got a goal scorer pick. I can't, for the life of me, I don't know how you pronounce his name, but it's Bristol Rovers striker Francesco Cavin, fuck knows, but Swiss striker signed in the summer from Vaduz, which is actually in Liechtenstein, but they play in the Swiss Challenge League, so 2nd division. I found this signing really interesting in the summer because he had an unbelievable record. 0.44 goals per 90 last season. Scored a couple in the Conference League. So I was doing some digging. I think it was the league he was playing in last season was on the Opta Power rankings, the equivalent of League Two. So it's it's a signing that will translate well to England. He sort of bedded in, struggled at first, got a brace against Tottenham under 21s in the EFL Trophy, and now he scored 3 in his last 3 starts and scored in all of them. And I think one of them was against Salford, who are a good team, and Walsall are a really, really good team. But 3-1 for a player in this sort of form to score, it's a price I don't think we'll get very often as he picks up. So yeah, I'm having a point on the goal at 3-1 and half a point on the brace at 23-1.
I love it. Same game, and something I just noticed by chance, but Walsall have got centre-back, well, he plays centre-back, Evan Weir, and he takes free kicks. He scored 3 goals, 2 free kicks. The other one came from outside the box as well. I don't know where I stand on this, because he's 33-1 to score from outside the box. And on one hand, a rule of thumb, really, you should be getting at least 50s for a centre back in this market. But he takes free kicks, so I'm having a quarter of a point on that just in case. But something I've just noticed, so I'm excited about it. A centre back free kick taker, it's always exciting. So that's a punt in that game as well. Evan Weir outside the box, 33-1, 365. Quarter of a point on that. Sam, where are we going next?
Going to League One, Lincoln versus Exeter. I'm going for Lincoln first half, second half win. So to win the first half and then win the game at 2.75. So Lincoln are having a great season under Michael Scabala. Played well against Chelsea in the Cup, and they ran out 3-0 winners against Peterborough after that Cup performance. So it's obviously had a good impact. In terms of the squad, really like their recruitment, getting experience into the squad. You got Collins up top, Sonny Bradley at the back. That experience has clearly helped. What are they? I think they're 3rd in the league.
Yeah.
So clearly helping, it's clearly working. As a team, they're well drilled. They can go long, they can go direct, but they can pass the ball and progress the ball upfield as well. And they're also comfortable being without the ball. Long throws as well. That there's a few ways they can score goals, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And they've scored from 5 set pieces already this season. And now they welcome Exeter City to town, who have lost 4 of 5 away days. They've lost 5 successive matches in all competitions. So looking at the markets, I thought the 1.72 price on Lincoln, it's probably about right, maybe a little bit too short to take on this podcast anyway. But what you can do, is you can target Lincoln in the first half on the half-time, full-time market, because not only do they have like the feel-good factor in camp, they're undefeated in 5 games in the league, but they've also won the first half in all 5 home games. And on top of that, they've won the first half in 9 out of 10 league games this season. So they clearly start games well. I heard that stat mentioned on Not the Top 20 pod earlier on this week. And considering it's Exeter up next, they've won the first half in 9 out of 10 games. It's probably an angle to take on at 2.75 if you think they can do that again and then hold out until full time and get the win. So yeah, at 2.75, I think it's definitely worth a unit.
I love it. Great way to squeeze a bigger price out of that, because as you say, Lincoln do definitely look like they're going to win. Matthew, your last man pick, isn't it? But the money's come from him. So I like it a lot. Matthew, where are you taking us next? Have you got anything left?
Yeah, I got 2 left, and I know Sam's on the same one, so and he'll do a better job of explaining it than me. So I'll end my picks with both teams to score ACCA in the National North. Last season it was a league I sort of avoided because it was really hard, but this year it seems to be something I'm being profitable in and being a fun league to bet on. The ACCA comes at 30-1, so I'm having a half point on it. First pick is Oxford City versus Curzon. Both teams score. It's landed 3 out of 4 at home for Oxford, 7 out of 9 total, and landed all 4 Curzon away games. Then you got Bucks and Darlington, I mentioned, the 2 best teams in the league for both teams to score. Chester versus Merthyr. Chester have seen it 4 out of 4 home, and Merthyr have seen it 1 out of 4 away, but they've scored in practically every game. They're similar to how Dover have been in the south. They attack every game, and with Chester looking a bit vulnerable at the back, it sort of screams both teams score there. Kings Lynn, Scarborough. Again, Kings Lynn have a mixed record, 2 out of 4 at home, and Scarborough have seen it 3 out of 4 away. But 2 of the best attacks in the league. Again, it's one of them I really want to attack for goals. Macclesfield, Marine. Macclesfield have seen both teams score in 8 out of 9 and all 4 home games. Marine, again, mixed record, but they've seen it. Where's it gone? I've lost it now. 6 out of 9 in total again. So you got, again, two high scoring teams. And then Worksop, Bedford. Bedford have sort of pulled the short straw being promoted to the National North because they won the Southern Central, and Bedford is very southern, but because of how the split works, they've had to be put in the north, and that sort of affected them on the travel. So the Lee Bircham manager, well, I've watched his side a few times when he used to manage Leighton, because I've got a few Leighton Buzzard mates, and he likes to have his teams attacking and sort of win the battles, and they've got a really strong attacking team, and they've seen both teams to score in 7 out of 9. Their only away game where it failed was away at Fylde, and then they travel to a Worksop side who have seen it in 3 out of 4 at home as well. So yeah, for 6 games that look like they could be really high scoring, it's a good ACCA. So Oxford versus Curzon, Buxton Darlington, Chester versus Merthyr, Kings Lynn Scarborough, Castle Marine, and Worksop Bedford. All of them games have both teams to score at 30-1.
Well, that'll do nicely. Sam, tell us about this card pick then that you're both on.
Yes, it's Daniel Munoz's card in Everton versus Palace. It will probably be a pretty well-backed pick this weekend, I imagine. He's going to be up against Grealish, so that should really set alarm bells ringing. He received 10 cards in the Premier League last campaign, and he has 2 to his name this season. Looking at Grealish specifically, in terms of his foul numbers, he was fouled 5 times versus West Ham. Before that, fouled 5 times in 30 minutes in the Cup against Wolves, fouled 6 times in the Merseyside derby, twice versus Villa, and 7 versus Wolves in the Premier League before that, which is pretty outrageous in terms of the data. So he's averaging 3.7 fouls, 1 per game, and he's going to be directly up against Munoz for Crystal Palace. Walker Peters was booked on Monday Night Football for West Ham. Somehow Conor Bradley avoided a booking in the Merseyside derby. He must have made, I haven't got the stats in front of me, but it must have made 5 or 6 fouls. And when Everton played Aston Villa as well, I think Matty Cash picked up 1 too. So I think in Palace's system, Munoz is tasked to play to the right of those 3 central defenders. So he's tasked with to get the attacking width as well. And in transition, when Everton are coming forward, if he's out of position, he's going to be running back at speed against Grealish, who is always looking to use his body to pick up a foul or 2 and drag his team up the field. So it looks like a brilliant matchup in terms of a card, in terms of Grealish up against Munoz, and at 4.33 on Sky Bet. It's a good price as well.
Yeah, wonderful price. Conor Bradley committed 4 fouls, by the way, against
4 fouls, yeah.
I love it.
That's crazy.
I've been to Everton away this season and saw Grealish. I think Weaver was booked with his only foul against him, if I remember correctly. Grealish just sort of took a heavy touch and sort of baited the tackle. Weaver went in and off he goes. He's a master of that, just winning the contact with every touch. And Munoz is a bit of a nutter himself. So yeah, it's a price I like, and I'm having 1.5 points on it as well.
Last bet to tell you about then, back to the Championship, Millwall v West Brom. Billy Mitchell is 11-2 for a card. I'm having half a point on that with 365. Based on his cost per night and the average, this price is probably like a smidge too big, but Mitchell's picked up 3 cards in all of his 3 starts this season. I don't know why he was out of the side. I assume it was injury because he missed a chunk of the season and then came in off the bench and then he started again in midweek. I don't know if he'll be rotated out, but we don't need to worry about that with 365. If he don't play, it'll be voided. But yeah, 3 cards as many as periods as this season, 11-2, seemed a touch big to me. Is that everyone's bets as well then?
Yeah, for me
Yep.
anyway.
Nice. Right. So I will put the screenshot of all the singles if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening, you can switch across to YouTube, scroll to the end. All the bets that we talked about will be now while I'm talking. But to recap, the ACCA we settled on, I think it was just under 48-1. Is over 2.75 goals in Newport against Swindon. Halifax 0.0 head start on the Asian handicap against Brackley. Hampton and Richmond, same handicap 0.0 at home to Slough. Over to the Bundesliga and both teams to score. They head to Eintracht Frankfurt. In the Premier League, it's Sunderland with a plus 1.25 head start on the Asian handicap at Old Trafford. It was +1, but we changed it, so don't get caught out by that. And then back down into non-league, South Shields to score over 1 goal, so it's over 1.0 on 365 Bet Builder against Chorley. I think that was just under 48-1. That's the group hack we have settled on. So Matthew, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure as always.
Sam, you've been brilliant. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me, lads. Enjoyed it.
Pleasure. And best of luck, everyone, with your bets this weekend. We should be back next weekend. We'll catch you on the Flippity Flip.